Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Like no matter how many people surround you, you still feel disconnected, lost, or even invisible. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety, emptiness, or restlessness, but deep inside, you know it's more than that. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're waking up. This is what many call spiritual awakening, a deep inner shift that transforms your perception, identity, and purpose. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 powerful stages of spiritual awakening, what they feel like, why they happen, and how to navigate each stage with peace, clarity, and alignment. If you've been seeing angel numbers like 11, 11, or 22, 22, noticing synchronicities, or craving something deeper, you were guided here for a reason. This is your sign to awaken. Let's begin. Stage 1, the wake-up call. The first stage of spiritual awakening often begins with what I call the wake-up call. This isn't always loud. It could be subtle, like a moment of stillness, or loud like a breakup, job loss, burnout, or even a health crisis. Something inside you says, "This life I'm living, it isn't all there is." You begin to question the rules of society, your career path, your relationships, everything. This is your soul whispering, "There is more. Look within." This is the spark that ignites your spiritual journey. Stage 2, the dark night of the soul. With awakening comes the dark night of the soul, one of the most painful yet sacred parts of your journey. It's a phase of deep emotional, mental, and spiritual suffering. You feel lost, disconnected, number alone. Everything that once brought you comfort or identity, your beliefs, titles, relationships, starts to fall away. But this darkness isn't here to destroy you. It's here to strip away your illusions. It's a spiritual detox, a soul-level purge. And just like night always gives way to dawn, this phase clears the fog so you can see the truth of who you are. Stage 3, the quest for truth. After the breakdown comes a breakthrough, what I call the quest for truth. You begin to seek. You dive into meditation, energy healing, shadow work, chakras, past lives, sacred texts, and spiritual teachings. You start asking deep questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What is consciousness? This is when you begin aligning with spiritual wisdom, universal laws, and divine timing. It's a beautiful stage where your inner child awakens, curious, open, and thirsty for truth. And as you seek the truth, you begin to remember who you've always been. Stage 4, inner conflict and ego death. New truth comes inner conflict. Your ego, the version of you that was shaped by fear, trauma, and conditioning, fights back. You may feel torn between your new spiritual insights and old beliefs, between your higher self and your past identity. This is the process of ego death. It's painful because the ego fears dissolving. It fears losing control. But what's really happening is transformation. You're not losing yourself. You're shedding what you're not and discovering your true self. It's messy, emotional, confusing, but stay with it. You're being reborn. Stage 5, integration. Once the dust settles, you enter integration. This is where you live your truth, not just learn it. You start setting boundaries, healing old wounds, and aligning your choices with your soul. Spirituality becomes more than crystals or rituals. It becomes your way of being. You live mindfully. You speak with intention. You respond, not react. You become the observer, the teacher, the healer, not through force, but by living as your authentic self. You don't just do spiritual things. You become a spiritual presence. Stage 6, alignment with purpose. As you integrate, life begins to flow. You start living in alignment with your soul's purpose. Work becomes meaningful. Relationships become sacred. You feel guided, not lost. You no longer chase success or approval. You attract them by being in alignment. You follow your intuition. You trust divine timing. You know that what's meant for you will never miss you. You start creating, serving, and loving, not for validation, but because it's who you are. This is the stage where you stop searching and start living. Stage 7, oneness and service. Finally, you reach oneness. You feel connected to everything: nature, the cosmos, animals, people, and source. You no longer see separation. You realize we are all one, all reflections of the divine. And from this space of deep love and compassion, you begin to serve, not for karma, not for recognition, but because it's your natural state. You become a vessel for healing, a mirror for others, a light in the darkness. You don't preach, you embody. You don't convince, you radiate. You become the message. Remember, these 7 stages don't happen in a straight line. You may revisit them many times as you spiral upward into higher consciousness. So, where are you right now on this journey? Drop a comment below. What stage resonates with your current path? If you're navigating your spiritual awakening, you're not alone. Subscribe and join this community of awakened souls walking this path together.